are going to be paying. If we are exporting electricity to Chad, maybe to part of Central Africa or Equatorial Guinea, those are part of the way we are going to use such funds to repay the loans. And we shouldn't think that our ministers are borrowing, or the president of the republic is borrowing for the sake of borrowing. They are actually exigency, things that are supposed to be done. And when we look at the budget, that's why every year I want to recommend that every year, if you look at the systematic increase of the budget of Cameroon, every year it increased by 1 billion, 1 point something billion every year, and that's because we keep getting the challenges year in, year out, and as the challenges are coming, the state is trying to solve some of those things. And now the only problem we have is that we are many Cameroonians are complaining that there is no clear net accountable sources as how a budget is being, or like money is being borrowed, and how it is being spent. That is where we are having the problems. And I think that even everybody, it is the role of every Cameroonian to ask questions. The board, for example, when you look at the budget for the public investment for the Northwest region, you look at how the projects were being classified. It is not for the public. You see that to install a panel system somewhere, you have 20 million, you have this one, you have water and so on. It's now for the public, the citizens who are there, to follow up, make sure that these projects that have been earmarked, that have been listed, that they are being executed. Because we have had cases where people are complaining that a particular road was given and the contractor wasn't seen, but money was already disbursed. And I asked myself, how was the money disbursed? Whether you construct the road, go to the Minister of Finance, present documents with the caretaker person or the project owner. When the money is already, when you have done the work before you go.
So how should the people follow up?
That is what I'm saying. That so I am blaming everybody.
So how should a mama in that village who a road has passed through this area, and she was told, she listened to radio that contract has been given to social and so contractor, and the contract is not done, how should that mama?
I was already giving my advice, like what we should do.
Yeah, what
those contracts, we the youth, we the people, the people at the local level. Let me start from the local level. We should try to follow up. The leaders should try to follow up.
How should they follow up?
There are various ways to follow up. For example, if you go, you have community leaders. I'm talking now based on decentralization. If there is a community, how to work with decentralization. If the community, for example, if Noni has a Noni Development Association, the council is to execute a project. It is for the president, the ESCO of the community, to go and say, okay, this project was supposed to be executed. It has not been executed. What is happening? If the mayor does not account for it, if the mayor does not say that, okay, this is what the project, this is it, he does not account for it, you move to the DO. From the DO, you move to the SDO, and that is how.
So all the villages,
that is why I'm talking decentralization. Article 41 and 40. Article 41 and Article 40. They clearly state it out how we should follow up this thing. Collaboration with the local administration, with the regional authorities, and so on. And then that was one part of the follow-up. Another one is the state institutions. The state institution should make sure that before a contract, before somebody comes to the Ministry of Finance to receive money, there should be missions upon missions to verify that this particular work you are coming to take payment for it has been done, and not only done but has been rightfully done. That is what we are saying about. And then now the people who are giving out the contract, like the tenders board, please, we are equally saying these are mechanisms to know that the state, we don't borrow money, the state cannot borrow billions and then it ends in private pocket. They make sure that the tenders board, those who give a contract, those who award contract, they should actually be sure that they are giving contract to people, to companies that are visible, companies that are actually there. We shouldn't only depend on what people take their signatures, their companies that are on only with the name. Physically, they are not there. That is what I'm saying. Those are control mechanisms. Those are control mechanisms that we Cameroonians, we have to engage in them. We shouldn't just allow everything to be done at the center. Once Yaoundé does his own thing, we should take it and then say, okay, we move ahead. And I tell you, if we follow that is what I always like to say it. Those are the principles of decentralization as outlined. And our head of state has said, he once said it in Boya. Cameroon is for all of us. Okay. And when Cameroon is for all of us, we need to make sure that we are working hand in glove rather than stay on the lane of blame without doing anything. For example, if there's a contract given in my locality, I will make sure I follow it up. As a youth parliamentarian, I will make sure I follow it up. I'll go to the mayor and tell the mayor. I'll first of all go to the SJ. This particular contract that was awarded to this community, my community. This is what I'm looking.
Let me do a follow up, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes.
Let me do a follow up. You said the community should get engaged, which is true.
Yes.
Now, and that it is a responsibility also of the community to do a follow up.
Yes.
And make sure that. Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
How often are the communities informed about the projects that have been allocated by their local administrative authorities or by their elected officials?
Good.
Let me ask you also.
Yes.
You are from Kononi. How often has your parliamentarian in your area come to the village in a meeting and hold a meeting with the people in that village to say that we were at the parliament? This was so and so project were voted. This is the one that have been given to our area. This is how it's going to be done. This is a contractor that collected it. How often have that been done?
Thank you. This is a very practical question that Cameroonian people have been facing, not only the Noni population.
No, I am.
I'm coming. I'm doing deduction.
Yes,
I'm coming. We have been facing this problem because contracts are being awarded, and we only get to see things going on without knowledge of how it came about. Yes. But because our elected officials haven't been doing that, and that is why we thank the presence of social media. When I just listed some of the contracts. I've just listed about the public investment budget of the Northwest, and Noni is part of it. And it is already what is going to be done in 2026. It's not even coming. It's not even the council, the elected officials who are telling us. We are the population. We go look for the information now to tell the people that okay. Since in the past you have not been able to communicate to us what has been happening or this particular aspect, we have brought up to it. We already know, and as we know, we should not end there. We are not going to end there. We are going to make sure we follow up. If this particular thing, if the Cameroon government has attributed let me say 50 million for a hospital in Noni, for 2026 and not 2027, not 2027, 2026 alone, we have to make sure that we should follow up. And I already cited, I am not talking on space. I'm talking the decentralization code. When you look at,
you have not answered my question.
I'm coming to your question.
No. We don't have all the time. Yes. You cannot be beating around the bush. My question is a simple one.
Yes.
That you say the people must work in collaboration to hold officials accountable for not following projects in their local communities.
Yes.
Which is true. But my question is, how will these people? How many of these people need to go and look for public investment budget before they know their project? These people, you rightly said that they are supposed to follow the channel decentralization. Now, the people of Noni, let me use Noni as an example.
Yes.
Because if I'm talking to Nick, I'll use Lebi Alem as an example.
Yes.
If I'm talking to my area, I'll use Menchum as an example. Because we don't have roads. I will say as an example.
Yes.
Now, my question is, the people of Noni now, how often have their MP, their mayors,
yes,
come to them and explain, especially the member of parliament, because the member of parliament are the ones that see the state budget and know which budget has been allocated to which project has been allocated to which community or not. They have they have it in front of them. They're the ones who vote for the budget.
Exactly.
How often have your own in your community come and tell the people so that the people know that okay, this is what we have been told. If this is not going, we can now call the member of parliament that hey, that project that you told us that have been allocated, these people are not doing the job. How often have that been done? That you expect the people to work in collab to actually follow up those projects. You follow a project, you don't know.
I said it that it has not been done oftenly like we expect. But now what we have an advantage is that the presence of social media we don't even need them to come and tell us as they already love you for the project.
The people you are talking about social media. You are talking about social media. You will talk.
Yes.
You are talking about social media. Let me still use the same Northwest region.
Yes.
Several divisions in the Northwest region are having issues with electricity.
Yes.
Menchum division has been for 9 years without electricity. I'm sure your own village has been through the same time. More than
from creation.
Yeah, from creation. How should that person in Noni
yes
go to social media?
Yes.
When the electricity is not even there.
Yes.
So whereas they have elected officials that comes to the village oftentimes to organize inter-quarter football competition.
Exactly.
They don't have the time to sit the people down and tell them that this is a project, so that the people can now follow up afterward. Can the people follow a project that they don't even know that exists?
It is not possible. But I will still go back to what I'm saying. They have not been doing that regularly. Though the few council sessions they used to have, those are the time. How many council sessions that are there within a year? When they do that, they communicate to the people, and that is why they have councillors. For example, the council has 25 councillors. When they sit within any session, the various information is supposed to be taken by the various councillors to their various districts, to their various units, and that's how it goes. They have not been doing that effectively, and that is why but I think that as from this very moment they are going to be doing that, because people have gradually discovering that this is what was done and this is what these people are not doing, and that's why we are encouraging ourselves. Because with the presence of social media, like how many projects I go back to the same public investment budget, that where part of the money borrowed by the Cameroon government is going to be spent in Noni for health, water, electricity, and so on. If now that the projects have already been outlined, it is the role of the Noni people now to follow, to make sure that the mayor does not sleep, to make sure that the mayor, the elected officials, the MP for Okwa, they don't go to sleep when they have not achieved those things. And we shouldn't go back. The problem has already happened because the elected officials haven't been so recurrent in informing the population.
Now, briefly,
yes.
we start move to Nick briefly.
Yes.
Now, you are talking about these same issues about the social media.
Yes.
I'm sure you must have listened to an audio that the former moderator of the Presbyterian Church, Right Funke Fobi,
yes,
said about the construction of the Bawu Road. The Bawu Road, there was a road he mentioned that on paper,
yes,
it shows that road has been constructed, and he asked the people of that locality to move in the different road and go and take pictures and send to the government for the government to see that that road has not been done. It has been more than 8 months since that video, that audio circulated, and we had done program on it.
Yes.
What has that anything changed? You are talking about social media. That was the impact. People follow up, raise the issue about the Bawu Road. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody has been called for interrogation. No concrete action has been taken about the road that the former moderator rightly put it that money were allocated on paper.
Yes.
So the road has been constructed.
I did not say that we should follow project on social media. The projects are already there, and which means that when I said the projects are already there because it has been shared, it is now for the people, for the Cameroonian people who are living the life down, especially in the rural areas. We should follow them up now. If they cannot, if this project, for example, let me quote, if the road when the project was given out, and if they did follow during the construction, during the supposed construction period, to have raised the alarm, I think it would have been different than coming after many years, although they are still right. It is right to denounce such things, because, and that is why when I gave out some of the suggestions, I said follow up. It should not only be with the community leaders, the community, the citizens. It should also come from the structures giving out this project, because many a time we have seen that there are companies.
Okay, let's take on this advert. We'll come back.
I am Express Exchange, leader in money transfers within Cameroon for more than 15 years via my international partners MoneyGram, Western Union, Ria Transfer, World Remit, and others. You can send and receive money all over the world. I assist you in all your mobile money transactions and buying of communication credit. You are always welcome to my 300 branches for payment of your Eneo electricity bills and your university tuition fees, the payment of school fees and competitive examination fees for high schools and college via the Campus Money platform. Because your satisfaction is my priority, I assure you on ever-increasing and improved quality service, payments, availability of cash for your transactions. Express Exchange, the #1 in quality service in Cameroon.
Now, you were about to land. Please land, so I move to Nick.
What I was saying was this. We should, the follow-up is in various ways to follow projects in our community. And I think that we shouldn't say that what happened in the past will continue happening. No, we are already open to all of these things. When I talk about the social media, it's not like we listen from the project. We have already seen the project. Now it's for us to go down, follow up our elected leaders. There are many communities that do not have electricity, light, water, and even non community. They don't have electricity. They don't have a kilometer of tar road. And we are hoping to have all of these things, and that is why we are encouraging the state budget. The money borrowed should not be mismanaged at all costs, and we need to accompany the President of the Republic to tax our local elected officials to deliver, because the money cannot be borrowed like that from internal and external sources for people to come and sit and people to come and don't do the work. This is time for work to be done. As the President of the Republic said in his speech, order will reign, which means that order is going to reign. Everybody is going to work. If you are not able to work, if you discover a particular community, if you discover that your elected officials are not able to work to deliver, it is time you vote them out. With your voters card, you vote them out. Thank you, Mr. David.
Nick, you wanted to react to some of the things he raised.
Yeah, I wanted to say most of the things he's saying are just theory. It's as if you're not talking like somebody who lives in Cameroon. Without, when it comes to Cameroon, sugarcoating things to please people will not help us, will not help to move this nation forward. When it comes to public contracts and public contract execution, I'm talking from a practical point of view. Me personally, I have a registered and legalized company, and I tell you that when it comes to tenders for contract, it is some kind of high-level mafia that goes on there. It is not everybody that's awarded a contract, and most of the times, those who are awarding contracts are at the same time contractors. They have fictitious companies. They award contracts to themselves. This is what happens. And when it comes to contract execution in Cameroon, you have to know that in every subdivision, the DIO, the divisional officer, is the supervisory authority. Yes. When it comes to public investment budget, the public contract execution is a supervisory authority. When it comes to the level of division, is a senior division officer. Region is a governor. So how comes that contracts are not executed at the level of the subdivisions? Because it is most at the every subdivision always have these contracts end there at the level of the subdivision, at the level of the councils. How comes that these contracts are signed and monies are signed out to contractors? Meanwhile, the projects were not executed. I'm talking, for example, like in my quarter in Fontaine, a contract was awarded for the construction of a cultural center to the tune of about 23 million francs since 2021. And when we were going in our group, like we have a youth group, when we were going through the previous contract that were executed, we fell on this contract and we said, we have never seen a contractor come to execute this project. We started asking questions. We asked at the level of the Village Development Association, no answer was given. And some president of some branch said they contacted the parliamentarian. The parliamentarian said it is the SDO that was in charge of execution of supervising contract execution. At the end of the day, say, we do follow up. At the end of the day,
is there not this the same thing now?
They push you to this person. This person pushes to this person. At the end of the day,
supervising the project.
At the end of the day, who do you go to? So, as I'm telling you, that it is a kind of mafia system that works in a way that it is difficult to fight, because supervisors who come from Yaoundé to maybe supervise this project, maybe at the end of the day, they collect their own envelope and
now
the project is signed that it has been executed. Meanwhile, it was never even executed.
Now, I want us to look. I want us to look at this issue about this debt that's been borrowed. Now, he talked about the fact that it's going to enable projects that have not been done to be realized, which is in return going to bring more revenue, because he said there's no nation in this world that doesn't borrow. Of course, even America do borrow.
Yeah.
We must accept the fact. But how do we explain the fact that Olympic Stadium, let's use it as a case study.
Yeah.
First, the current state of Olympic Stadium is dilapidating. Second,
constructed stadium is dilapidating.
Secondly, it has not been officially commissioned.
Of course.
Because not all the facilities that are there have been completed. Now it is already dilapidating. Then thirdly, the initial budget that was given, they had to borrow additional money because there was no money again to fund it. So it means that you had borrowed money to construct your Lembe Stadium. At one point in time, the money was not well used. You had to borrow again because what happened after the initial budget, which means you are now working on a minus. Now, that is just one case example. Another example is the construction of the Boya Douala road, the road that linked from Rai, the double carriage road that linked from Rai, moved right to Bikoko. That road has not been officially commissioned, but the road at one point in time became narrow when you move to after a certain
Petrolex,
it became narrow. It was supposed to be a double carriage. After they had demolished buildings and demolished all those demolition, people have constructed back and have come back to the road. How do we understand the fact that how will this new borrowing of 1.6 trillion solve some of these issues?
It's not going to solve any issues. I can tell you for sure, the borrowing will not solve any issue. It's just going to go into the pocket, because I saw one of the heading is that is for development. One of the heading for development, why is to service debt, and the rest.
Maybe for now, maybe because of the budget, my division mentioned will now have electricity after 9 years.
We are hoping that when it comes to electricity, I think your member of parliament is supposed to find that and make sure that it's put in the budget, in the state budget. If your member of parliament is not doing that, I don't know what he's doing in parliament. So it is unheard of that a division is not having light. It's the same thing like the BLM not having light for 9 years as mentioned. But the contract was awarded last year. I think I saw they have started putting posts. We hope after the posts are not signed for campaigns. After the campaign, they abandon that, as we have seen in other places. So we hope the projects will be executed. And I say that in the problem of development in Cameroon and borrowing money is a structural problem, as I keep saying. It is a structural problem that you cannot solve. It's like the Bible says that you cannot put old wine into, new wine into old wine skins. It's the same, is the thing that Cameroon is doing, putting new wine into old wine skins. And it will obviously just burst the wine skins. And that's what we are facing on a daily basis. Borrowing money in order to solve problems, or in order to solve effects of problem, rather than tackling the problem from the road level. The issue of Cameroon, I think some years back they were talking about a regionalization of budget, of the state budget, meaning that each region, all the projects of each region, a particular budget should be allocated to that region. That is a kind of it's just part of decentralization. But the government doesn't want to implement decentralization.
The government is implementing.
No.
They are implementing it.
The government
region has around 117 billion.
The government is not ready to implement decentralization as per the constitution.
No, we should follow up the way things are done. The Northwest region, for example, has around 117 billion to be coordinated by the regional assembly.
What can that money do? What can that money do to a whole region?
Are you talking about the money or the process? There's a process, and that's why
there's a process where if you calculate that speed of certain process, that if you calculate their speed, it's going to take 1,000 years to do something, to achieve something. No, it's not about just process.
You just want
if you want to travel to Bamenda and you choose to trek,
Yes.
You choose to travel. I mean, how long will it take you to move to Bamenda from Douala? And rather than using a car,
It's going to take you 2 days.
you trek from here to Bamenda, take you 2 days. Yes. You're not serious. How can you say you take you 2 days? You're not serious.
It will take
you more than a week to do that.
8 hours.
8 hours.
You're not.
That gives you 8 hours. Then what of checking?
You're not sure we see what you're saying. So the government is choosing to track in the system of government. I said the issue of Cameroon is investing money in dead areas of the economy that are not producing the revenues to the state. That state parastatals should be closed down. It is parastatals instead taking money from the state budget. Like Cameco, all of these institutions, it is either you privatize them, or you close them down. There are many of them that are not generating income. A parastatal is supposed to be a business. You generate more money for the state.
More than they invested.
Yes, than you invested.
Yes.
But how come that the government is still instead taking money and investing in most of these companies? Parastatal, the CDC, we can understand the case of the CDC that because of the crisis. But other parastatals, like they look at, for example, Ethiopia. If you know the amount of money that the aviation contribute to their budget. In Cameroon, you are using Cameco. Cameco is sucking instead from the state. Instead of generating money for the state, it is instead sucking, and then other parastatals are doing that. How comes that the government cannot close down these things, or you privatize it to private individuals to run it and then generate money for the state? This is what we are saying.
Now,
there are airports you can privatize and give to private individuals to run so that they can generate money for the state, rather than you, the government, working and then using taxpayers' money to waste on sectors of the economy that are not generating income. There are ministries in Cameroon that need to be merged. The ministries that need to be closed down, and so that they are sucking state budgets for nothing, and you cannot be complaining each day that you don't have money. Meanwhile, you are using this money to pay people for nothing. The cost of governance in Cameroon need to be streamlined. Our ministers need to know that they are servants; they are not kings. Meaning that the many allowances they have to streamline so that you concentrate this remaining part of the budget to finance roads that are key sectors of the economy.
Okay.
This is what we are saying.
You talk about the fact that the amount allocated for the Northwest region is 1 billion.
I said 100, almost around 117 billion. Now
Okay. Almost around
117 billion.
Okay, almost around 117 billion allocated for the Northwest region.
Yes.
Now, which will be spread
from
across
the state budget.
From the state budget, which will be spread across the different divisions.
Which will be spread across 7 divisions, 34 subdivisions.
Yes, the different divisions of the North and Southwest region.
Yes.
Now, are you now saying that by next year, this same time when we come here,
yes,
we are sure that Noni will have electricity, Menchum will have electricity, we are sure that Mumu will have electricity, we are also sure that the route from Bamenda to Wum will be constructed, the route from Bamenda to Njikwa, Atong, Oshenkun will also be constructed. We are also sure that potable drinking water will be an issue of the Northwest region, will no longer be an issue of the Northwest region. Are you saying that we should be happy that things will change?
Yeah, we should be happy, but we should be happy with responsibility. What I'm saying in effect is that I am actually very positive that this same time next year, if the whole of Noni does not have light, part of Noni will have light. That's what I'm saying. I am very positive about it. And if it happens the contrary, I will still sit here and denounce the leaders of Noni. That's what I'm saying. And now the budgets have been given already. When you look at the division, like Bui division has around 2-point-something billion from the state budget. When you go, we should be able to follow up, because gone are those days where things were done in the dark. Citizens did not know what was happening. Now we know, and we have to follow our administrators, our leaders, because we voted for them and we gave them the powers to lead us to do the things we did that is supposed to be done for us. Thank God the Cameroon government has decided to embark on effective decentralization. Everything is not going to come from Yaoundé again. It is you who is going to go to Yaoundé? It's not even Yaoundé. You will sit, they will take things from Yaoundé and send to you, and you execute the project. So we are hopeful that everywhere, even Menchum, everywhere, the roads, the water, the system, the hospital, by next year, we are positive that they are going to be realized. And if they are not realized, I'm already talking to the public now. Follow your mayor, follow your community leaders, follow them. If they don't realize the various projects, ask them the question, what is happening? Why did you not do that? If they don't realize the money, we should ask for the money. It is either the money is in the state treasury or the money has been realized in project. There should not be we don't have a middleware where the money is not in the state treasury and the money has not been realized.
So many cases.
No, that is what.
Just do your investigation.
Yeah, there are so many cases, but we are trying to mitigate them now because it has happened. What next? Should we continue? It has been happening, and it's happening. But we want now to know that this time around, it is let's tax our local leaders responsible, accountable. Let them be accountable. The money should not disappear from the state treasury, and the work that was supposed to be done is still undone. You talked about the project like the Olembe Stadium. I do not know how to put it. We are in investigation to know why.
Let
me finish.
Yes, briefly.
I'm talking about, for example, Olembe Stadium.
Yes.
The Supreme State Audit indicted some people.
Yes.
Concerning that project and many other projects, COVID-19. What has been done up to now?
That is what we are asking ourselves a question. And we Cameroonians are asking ourselves, but we know that the law is, it can take a due process. But one day, we know people who are in prison because of embezzlement of state funds. I'm not inventing it. That's something happened. And that is why we should trust. And one particular aspect, I was forgetting, one particular aspect of the follow-up should be our judiciary. CONAC and other, the judiciary should actually follow up, because there are many cases of a contractor who takes a contract and then swings around, and then the judiciary stays mute. They should not be accomplices to the sufferings of the poor masses.
Now let me correct something. A contractor cannot swindle contract money without the compliance of completion of the project. No, that cannot happen.
Okay.
A contract, when you finish your execution, because by the public contract codes in Cameroon, you finance part of the project with your money before the government gives in. The government not just carry all the money and give. You finance part of the project, and then quarterly they pay you part of the project, and then when you finish, after supervision and everything, they sign your remaining money and give.
Yes.
Yeah, but what we are seeing is that in Cameroon, most of these projects, the foundation stone is not even laid. The project is never even mentioned. But the money has been signed out. You go to the treasury, it is showing that the money has been signed out. The person at the treasury may not know, is not the one to. Once the person sees that the
competent authorities that are supposed to check have
signed that this project has been executed, it is not his duty to go and verify whether. That is not his duty. The duty is to sign out money.
It goes back to give the responsibility.
So it is a structural problem.
And that's why we already have a solution. Let we the masses through the common people, through our various associations, let us be the eye of the government now. So that within now and December next year, if something is not done, like one of the projects I listed, between now and December, between now and June, if something is not being done, I have to raise an alarm.
Is it in the state budget? Is it in the budget of this year?
Yes, it is. I'm talking about 2026. If something is not done between now and maybe June, I have to raise an alarm that, okay, this is what was done. Between June, this is what was supposed to be done, but nothing is happening. Between June and maybe September, if something is not done, I need to raise an alarm. By the time the project, because it is always at the last project that's usually given out, you cannot get a project after November. If the project is not being carried out, that was given in 2026, it's already November. We need to raise an alarm. What has happened to it? And that's why we are calling on the population to collaborate with the government. And that's why when they talk about administration going closer to the people, because we expect, this is what the government expects from us, the common citizens. We should be participating in our development, not sit and wait for people who have been given the powers to come and carry out, and they are not doing, and we still sit and keep quiet.
The issue is that now, it's difficult to collaborate with administrative authorities because most of our administrative authorities, whether the DOs or the mayors and the rest, they seemingly, the way they operate, seemingly give an impression that they want things to be obscure, they want things not to be seen. Because many times, how many times do they call for town hall meetings? Because it is in this town hall meeting. It's not about just calling council sessions. Most of the time they will call council sessions, the population is not even aware. Only the councillors are aware. Because normally council sessions is supposed to be a participation of the administration, the mayor, that is the local authorities, the councillors, and the population. That's supposed to be part of it when every council session is called, so that they know what is happening in their municipalities. But most of the time, these things are done in secrecy, meaning that they have an intention to hide information from the public. Many a time, you as a journalist don't have access to most of this information. They hide them deliberately so that the population is kept in the dark. You don't know what is happening. Most of the time, us who even voice this thing in Village Development Association, we are being attacked from left and right.
It is very true. It is very true.
It is not easy, because I see most of them are see part of their incomplicity with most of these administrators. If you launch an investigation in the Anglophone regions, for the past 9 years that the crisis has been going on, projects that have been swallowed, that have not been executed, that were earmarked, and some excuses were given that there are crises going on and so on. People just go sign these projects out, sign this money out, and the project, and it has been validated that they have been carried out. So if the government can launch investigation, you will see that many people will go down for it. But it is as if investigations in Cameroon never hits any result. How can the Supreme State Audit indict people and you never hear that they were called for questioning?
No, but we should
never hear that they were arrested.
They were people.
So what will the common man in Noni do? The common man in Furawa do to a local authority? Meanwhile, those at the top are indicted and nothing has been done to them.
No. Actually, the people were indicted and some they were invited to answer. The process is due. We should talk about
the past 7 mandates. How many ministers?
The head of state.
How many people were
The head of state in 2023.
Yes.
Said people who have embezzled COVID-19 money, they were going to be propped and be looked into so that those who face justice.
Yes.
2023 has passed.
Justice delayed, not justice denied.
2024 has passed.
Justice delayed, not
Justice
delayed is justice
denied. Is justice delayed.
No.
Justice denied is justice delayed.
Okay. So I'm giving you
when you delay the justice, when you delay the justice, you have denied the justice.
Okay, that's your own.
I know that justice doesn't just need to be done. Justice needs to seem to be done.
And that's why I'm saying that the process is due. If I'm not part of. I don't know how far the documents have gone, but I still think that I still believe in the process of justice that is going to be delivered, no matter how long it stays. We know those things, and I think encourage us. We have all these administrative bottlenecks with the various contracts. You see that you want to go and complain to at times your oppressor. You want to go and complain to somebody who is instead going to hammer this, who is instead going to hamper the situation. You complain about the project not being realized, but we have to continue doing that, because if we give up, I'm not going to go. I already know that it happened in the past. Everything we have a contract, uncompleted contract left and right, but now our focus now is the one of 20, since they are borrowing money. Like
anyway,
they are borrowing money to complete.
We are really out of time. Really out of time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. David. I want to extend special greetings to the Minister of Territorial Administration, and I want to encourage the various the regional authorities, divisional authorities, and subdivisional authorities to take the instructions of the Minister of Territorial Administration like a command from the Bible, because we are at the level where we don't even care about our own.
Say we are out of time.
Yeah, we don't even care about our own health. We threw that anyhow. Thank you, Mr. Minister, for giving us that opportunity.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, and we look forward for a better Cameroon, a Cameroon where leaders will put humanity above personal interests.
Thank you very much. We want to really apologize for today's late start due to technical issues. and we are working on to make sure that next week we kickstart the program on time. This program will rebroadcast at exactly 10:30 p.m. You want to be a part of the panel, you can ring me on the numbers that is 676431384. Until we meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter, and what should matter for you is that you stay out of trouble. My name is Tamai Jarvis, Cameroon's commercial capital, Fengu Dombange. Bye-bye.